Hello, welcome to part 3, solving for missing sides using these trig ratios, which is super useful because now we can solve for a bunch of stuff we weren't able to before, as long as we have at least one angle and one side, whereas Pythagorean theorem, you have to just have two sides, and that's it. So, let's look at how we go about doing this. So here's kind of some steps to take, but basically, you're going to look at the angle that you're given, and label the sides with respect to that angle. So I'll start kind of doing number 3 this way. So I'm given 29 degrees, so I want to label sides standing at 29 degrees and looking around. So 34 is the hypotenuse, and then across the way, x here is the opposite side, and then this other one that we're probably not going to end up actually using is the adjacent side. So I look at the information I have and the information I'm trying to find. So I've got the angle, I've got the hypotenuse, I'm trying to find the opposite side. So I look for the function that involves an angle, so all of them involve an angle, theta, and the one that uses opposite and hypotenuse. So which one would that be? Sine. So we are basically just going to plug in all the information we have into sine here, and we're going to solve for x. So it's going to be the sine of 29 degrees. So remember, it's always sine, cosine, or tangent of the angle. And that sine of 29 is equal to opposite side x over the hypotenuse 34. So now we just need to solve for x. So right now we've got x divided by 34. So to undo that, or get rid of that, we have to multiply by 34 on both sides. So we've got that x is equal to 34 times the sine of 29. Now, this is something you absolutely are going to need a calculator to do, and I'm going to show you with a few different calculators here, because there's something we need to be careful of. So let's look at this calculator here. So make sure that you are using degrees, not radians in your calculator. So you see this little switch here, degrees, radians, degrees, radians. So radians is just another unit that you measure angles in. Usually use it more in like calculus and stuff, moving up from there, but we're not going to use it. So degrees is what we should be in. And you want to double check that any calculator you're using. So I'll actually show you on a couple different calculators how you can tell. We'll just take a quick moment here. So this one here. So just looking at it, there's not a way to tell, but the way you would change it or to check is to go into mode, and then see down here, it's on degree. That's what it should be on. If it were on radian, I'd have to click on degree, hit enter, and then go back out here. And another way actually that you can check, and maybe I'll write this on the notes page too, is that if you've correctly got it on degrees, the sine of 30 should be 1/2, 0.5. So if I had it on radians accidentally, if I take the sine of 30, it gives me -9, which you should know is not okay or right, because we've always been getting positive numbers for these. There's no reason it should be negative. So that would be a good one to use to just kind of check to make sure it's working, is that the sine of 30 should be 1/2 or 0.5. So that's how you do it on here. Some of the calculators you're able to actually just see that it's on degrees. So if I look at this one that we use in class, kind of down in the corner there, you see a little DEG, that means we're using degrees. And this one doesn't have like a mode menu, but it's this button right here, the DRG one. So degrees, radians, I actually don't know what GRD stands for, but degrees is what we should be in. Third calculator, just for fun. So this one also shows you, whoa, it's hard to see in this document camera, but right up there is a little DEG. There we go, for degrees. Then this one does have mode, so if you weren't in degrees, then it looks kind of like the other one. So degrees, radians, you're on degrees, so you are good there. And again, you can check sine 30 is 0.5. So we know we're on degrees. So in order to get this working correctly, to get the correct answers, you do need to make sure your calculator is set up to be using degrees. So now that we've got it that way, let's go ahead and use our online calculator to do this. So we need to do 34 times the sine of 29 degrees. Alright, and this one said round to the nearest hundredth, I believe, so 2 decimal places, so it should be about 16.48. So x is approximately 16.48. Alright, so let's look at number 4. So, let's see here. So, we look at this angle we've got, and let's label the sides with respect to that angle. So, that's my dog. Anyway, so this one, 48, would be the opposite side. And I know this is the hypotenuse. I'm not actually going to label this one because I don't have anything here. So it's not one of the things I'm looking for, and it's not one of the things I'm given. So x is touching 57 and is not the hypotenuse, so x would be the adjacent side. So then you'd ask yourself, which one of our trig ratios uses opposite and adjacent? And that would be tangent. And you can remember your little SOHCAHTOA thing. I'm going to bring that up a bunch of times because it's important. You just got to remember them. Alright, so then that means we're going to set up an equation here with tangent. So tangent of the angle 57 degrees should be equal to the adjacent, or excuse me, the opposite side over the adjacent side. So that's going to be 48 over x. And now we do need to get x by itself, but it's on the bottom this time, so our process is going to look just a little bit different than the other one. So I can't do anything with it while it's in the bottom, so I need to multiply by x first on both sides to get it out of the bottom. So that cancels. Then I've got x times tangent 57 is equal to 48. And then last thing I need to do to get x by itself from here is to just divide by tangent 57. So keep in mind this tangent 57 is just some numbers. So we're going to divide by that whole thing. Tangent 57 divided by tangent 57. So we will need to put it in our calculator, but if we look at how this ended up, we can see that basically the x and the tangent 57 just switched places from how they were originally. So you can use that shortcut if you want. It's up to you. It's a bit faster. But this is really why it works, is that we're multiplying by x and dividing by tangent of 57. So then we'd punch it into our handy-dandy calculator. So you do 48 divided by tangent 57, and that gives us about 31.17, if we're rounding like it says there. So that is, so about, not 41, sorry, 31.17 for that. So that's basically the process that we go through here. So let's look at some that are a little bit more involved. So continue ahead looking at 5 and 8, which is on the next page, / the last page, final page of the notes. So we want to find the value of each variable using sine and cosine, it says. So looking at this here, I've got two different things. So I'm still going to start off the same way. So I'm still looking at the angle here, which is really this angle down here that I'm looking at. So we should label our sides. So x is opposite, y is adjacent, and 9 is hypotenuse. Now, you can only solve for one of these things at a time, and the reason initially that it's telling us to use sine and cosine is if I use tangent, that would be opposite over adjacent, and I'd just get x over y, and I can't go anywhere from there. So we're going to have to use sine and cosine, and just pick one at a time. Don't try to do both. If it helps, draw a separate triangle, and just don't even look at the one with both of them. Right, so let's start with x. So if I'm solving for x, then I'm looking at what I'm looking for, what I've already got. So you think to yourself, which one of those ratios uses opposite and hypotenuse? That would be the sine ratio. So sine of 16 should be equal to opposite side x divided by hypotenuse of 9. And then to finish solving that, right, we're just going to multiply by 9 on both sides. So x, and let's see, nearest tenth, so 1 decimal place. So x is approximately, so 9 times sine of 16. So 2.48 would round to about 2.5. So now I need to find y. Now, I do know now that this one's about 2.5, but I really shouldn't use it, ideally. It's not good to use rounded values to calculate other values, so we try to avoid that if at all possible. So I want to use what I started with initially here. So I've got 9 I'm given, y is what I'm looking for, still using my 16 degrees, so then you ask yourself, which ratio uses adjacent and hypotenuse? Which one is it? Cosine. So the cosine of 16 is equal to y over 9, and then we would multiply by 9 on top and, or on both sides, excuse me, and we'd get 9 times cosine of 16, which you can do in your calculator. It ends up giving you like 8.651, so we would round that up to about 8.7. So y is approximately 8.7 there. Alright, moving right along here. So now we're looking at number 6. So again, look at kind of what we've got. So 72 degrees is the angle we're given down here, and we want to label the sides with respect to that. So again, be careful. This one is not the hypotenuse. I know that's where you like it to be, but it's not. Hypotenuse is across from the right angle, so the hypotenuse is 50 here. And then n is across from 72. It's not touching the 72 degree angle, so this one is the opposite side. And then m is touching the 72 degree angle, and it's not the hypotenuse, so that one would be the adjacent side. So now we can set up our equations, and remember, deal with one thing at a time. So if you want, you can just, if it helps, draw a separate little triangle here, and say, hey, I'm not even going to worry about n being a thing right now. All I've got is my m, and my 50, and my 72 degrees. So we're going to set this one up. Right, so we know this one's the adjacent side, this one's the hypotenuse, so you ask yourself which one uses adjacent and hypotenuse. That would be cosine. So we can set it up then. Cosine of 50 is equal to adjacent side m over, nope, not hypotenuse. Oh, whoops, it's not cosine of 50. My bad. Cosine of, oh, right. Struggles. Cosine of 72 is what I'm actually supposed to be doing here. Hey. Stop that. Go away. Okay. Cosine of 72, and that's better. So then we would multiply that by 50. So calculator, 50 times cosine 72. And that's about 15.45, so that rounds up to about 15.5. So m is approximately 15.5. So then we look at worrying about finding n. So we ask yourself which one uses opposite and hypotenuse, and that would be sine. So the sine of 72 is equal to opposite n over hypotenuse 50, and then you multiply 50 times sine of 72, and that gives you approximately 47.6. So we will continue this in the next video.